Hello and welcome to the Chattercade podcast, where we break down and review movies, TV, and occasionally have a random ass topic conversation, if you can think of a topic to talk about. I'm your host, Thomas Hughes. I have lovely Hayden, aka Licklet, with me, and we're here today to talk about our next little trilogy, continuing with a Disney musical theme to keep this one happy. So today we're going to be talking about the movie Descendants, released in 2015, which focuses on the kids of classic Disney villains as they try to, live up to their parents' standards, essentially, like their level of evilness, but also trying to fit in with the good guys.
Yeah, trying to fit in the United Kingdom. What's it called? United States of Oregon.
Yeah, trying to fit with the people of Oregon, while also still trying to live up to their parents who, trying to get them to steal a wand. So one of them is trying to get them to steal a wand, aka Maleficent. The others are just kind of there for the ride.
Yeah, there's Maleficent's like, give me the wand. Do you mean us the wand? Yeah, totally. I meant that. Oh, pretty much. At the point of all the villains are basically all washed up.
Has-beens.
Yeah, they've been away from their magic and powers for so long that they're all pretty much just like regular people, but they've still got that evil intent, and because of how twisted their minds are, they're very much like, well, we're still villains, we just can't really do anything. Obviously, they brought their kids up to be like them. Yeah. And obviously, what these people were big, like, dangerous villains, and now pretty much like Jafar is now basically some kind of like
shop owners selling stolen goods.
Stolen goods, yeah, it's pretty much offence, basically. Okay, Cruella de Vil is basically crazy. She's lost her mind. Makes sense a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the one shot from the Wonder Dalmatians movie.
Yeah.
The eyes shot when she's in the car, like, yeah! That kind of sums up that idea.
Evil Queen, obviously, she's like this vain woman, like, obviously, because now she's older, she's not as like what she believed she was. Like, so she's a lot more bitter, and even when like she tried to make her daughter as vain as her, she's always like, who's the fairest of them all? And he was like, me. You. Sorry. I mean, she's very vain. Then there's Maleficent, who's obviously
Maleficent still.
She's still as evil and twisted, and she's trying to make Mal be as evil as well. And the whole thing of like, she wants Mal to basically have no love in her life whatsoever, and Mal's such a twisted person. Maleficent's quite a twisted person. She tries to manipulate everyone around her. Like her whole goal is to get the wand for herself. Yeah. But she's making the other villains like think that she's doing with them. Yeah. Just so they can convince their kids to help Mal, who should obviously going to take it off Mal anyways.
Exactly. So the plot of this is, as you say, they've got to get the wand, the villains out.
Yeah, fairy
godmother. They obviously want the kids to do it because they can't leave the island because there's a massive force field over the island.
But Ben's given her the
but obviously Ben, the son of Beauty and the Beast, Belle, and Beast, has obviously given them the opportunity to let the kids, these four, come over to the island, obviously Oregon, to basically be with kids their age and try and be good. So obviously that's their opportunity then to get the wand. So obviously they get into their mind of getting the wand. The only one who doesn't want the kid to go over is Cruella. Eventually,
because she wants to use him like as a slave, pretty much. Because she's very abusive to Carlos. Yep.
I do find it funny though how washed up she is in terms of like she's treated her son like, don't go near any dogs, are scary and everything.
She's basically, because she's so obsessed with dogs that she's made them out to be these like vicious things.
So no, Carlos would never ever steal a dog.
Yeah,
which is quite funny. But yeah, obviously they utilise them to go over and try and steal the one. So obviously then you got your story of them trying to just fit in with everything around them. Obviously slowly evolving their characters from what their parents want them to be to what they actually are inside. So obviously you got Carlos, who evolves from hating dogs to loving dogs.
Yeah, the little pet dude.
Yeah, obviously you got Jay, who evolves from not wanting to be a part of a team.
Yeah,
so obviously always thinking about himself
to being more this
team player for the fact that obviously he joins their weird
tourney.
their weird sport they have where you can get
It's basically
on turrets.
lacrosse.
It is basically lacrosse,
but with turrets.
It's just basically lacrosse with man turrets that you can shoot at people, and you have to block with shields. And
it's a more fun version of
it's
lacrosse.
It's it's definitely like something that's very interesting. It's very over the top.
Evie, obviously, she's been brought up to
try and go for princes.
Go for the rich
basically
people.
Be really
get the
dumb,
money.
and that's your way of getting.
Use your looks, not your brain, kind of thing. And then she learns
to use her brain as well as the looks.
And she doesn't need to be smart, be dumb to get a guy. Because then she when she's acting like herself, she obviously gets Doug, who's obviously one of the
Seven Dwarfs kids.
Seven Dwarfs. He's a funny character.
And obviously then you got Mal, who's obviously the leader of all these ones.
Who,
again, obviously
like her mum.
Basically like her mum, who then evolves into loving and caring rather than hating and despising.
Basically the complete opposite of Maleficent.
Obviously it's cool to see them becoming themselves. And obviously they've got the help around them, because obviously Mal's obviously got Ben, who she, does technically cheat at first by,
she basically
magically brainwashing him.
Basically magically rehypnol him.
Yeah.
In a way.
So she does cheat at first, but then obviously when he washes it off and he feels the same way, because, he doesn't want to be with Aubrey, because Aubrey's kind of stuck up.
I think, you see, obviously, even before she charms him.
He's into her.
There's definitely got a lot
more
of
chemistry than him and Aubrey.
In the first scene we see them together, they have more chemistry than every single scene he has with Audrey throughout the entire franchise.
Technically speaking, Ben's also helpful with Carlos. So he's the one who helps him with Doug.
You see Ben as this, he actually is a good guy, and he would be a good king. He seems to care about everyone. And seems to be
Jay's more the coach. When he sits down and talks to him, it's like one-to-one. That's more of his. And obviously then Evie is more of Doug.
Doug, yeah.
Obviously pointing it out and everything. So obviously everyone's got someone to support them and help them through it. Obviously Ben doing the most work, he's having to help people.
Because he's king, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Becoming king.
Becoming king.
Burger King.
He becomes king at the end of it.
Becomes the Burger King. With that goddamn crown. That goddamn cheap Disney Channel budget crown.
But it's a funny crown, and it's consistent. For all 3 films, they keep that crown. It doesn't change.
They could have
I love it.
actually a metal looking crown, but no, it's a big plastic ass crown.
I like that, okay.
They may as well literally have just gone to Burger King and got one of the fucking paper crowns and said, "There you go, mate, fucking wear this. That'll fucking do ya."
Oh.
And just stuck over the Burger King logo with an Oridon logo.
Okay, I respect them for keeping at it. For keeping that crown for the entire time. There's even one point where, in the second film, when someone 3D prints the crown.
Yeah.
And it looks just as cheap.
But I do like as well, obviously, as you said when watching it, it's a bit more grown up in terms of the end goal of the whole thing is more of marriage.
Yeah, marriage. It's a lot
love and marriage, whereas zombies is more love and just growing up.
Yeah.
From a kid to
going to college.
Basically going through youth. Whereas this is more youth is here, but you're basically pushing past that now to adulthood.
It makes sense about that, because this is all based off old fairy tale films. The whole thing is when the prince and the princess get married. That's their big goal, and this is what happens throughout the entire 3 franchises. The first one is pretty much just Ben becoming king. That's the main thing, and then
basically trying to
become
good.
Yeah.
I like as well. Obviously the bond that all 4 have.
Oh, definitely.
They feel like they're not just friends; they're like a family. I mean, obviously the way they support each other, but also the fact that even in that obviously the point in that one scene with obviously when the Sleeping Beauty, obviously the grandmother of Sleeping Beauty, obviously starts having to go at Mal, and obviously it all starts kicking off, and Chad gets involved, and obviously really gets in Evie's face, not Evie, Mal's face, and everything, and fucking Jade just jumps in and is basically near enough wants to deck him, and obviously Evie then has to kind of stop it with the spray to knock him out, that sort of bond of them trying to stick together. Obviously Jay being a sort of older brother type, you don't mess with anyone, or else I will just break your legs.
You see that evolve throughout the franchise as well.
And then, exactly. And obviously Evie being the smart one in the sense that she's obviously realised, you can't really deck this guy right now.
Yeah, so she's knocked him out using a spray.
Yeah, and Carlos being the little kid who's just at the back.
He's a nerdy kid, basically.
He's just watching it unfold, do I do something here, or do I just sit back and... No, I'm going to sit back and just let them have a moment here. I'll just stroke Doug. And then you've got, obviously, Mal, who's just kind of, like, trying to absorb all this, and then eventually she's, like, snapping and being like, fuck you.
Fuck them.
Which is proven when, obviously, Fairy Godmother's kid's being a bitch, and she's just, like...
Yeah, she really does, like, because obviously...
Does the spell and fucks her hair up.
Yeah, because, like, throughout the film, they have their own little plots to try and grab the wand. The first time is they break into the museum where it's been held. Obviously, it's got an alarm system, so they can't actually get to it. And the second time, she's trying to befriend Jane, and she does that by, like, obviously altering the hair,
manipulating her, basically,
putting ideas in her head that she needs to look more beautiful to get more
who
guys
she wants,
than she wants, and to get a boyfriend. And the whole idea of, why don't you ask? I can only do your hair, but if you used to ask your mum, she could like do other things. Maybe she'd get the one that she did to Cinderella. So why can't she do it to you? And if ever does it, I can be there trying to like grab the wand. And each one sort of like has a little blocker. Like I said, the museum can't get to it. The sixth one, the godmother won't do it. She won't like work for Jane.
But then that still stirs the pot
for
later
that
on.
Keeps her in that keeps going
for
in
when
her
she
head.
fully snaps, and
it
goes full like basically like the top sort of kid at school, like hating like everyone else around you, to then obviously just wanting to do it herself, get the wand and zap, and obviously that fucks her thing. Obviously it releases obviously Maleficent into the world.
Because the only time that one's ever going to be exposed is through Ben's what's the word? And you need to become king.
Coronation.
That's the word. Yeah, Ben's coronation. That's the only time the wand ever comes out.
I wasn't going to say. I was going to see if you could get it, but I was like, she's going to be keep clicking for ages. Fuck it. Go for it.
Oh. Yeah, that's the only time the wand will ever come out. So, obviously, Mal's like, and the only person that gets next to Ben is obviously the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's why she charms him.
She roofies him.
Yeah, she magically roofies him just to...
But, he still likes her anyway, so...
Yeah. So after that...
Doesn't mean anything.
That's completely fine.
Yeah, he sort of looks past. He's like, "Hey, you drugged me. It's okay. I love you."
He's much like, I understand obviously where she come from. He knows she's not really used to love and stuff. But this is how someone who was raised by villains would act. Yeah, it makes sense to him. That's why
she does it in the sense of trying to obviously get to the wand.
Yeah.
But then she has the snap in the mind of,
you can see,
wait, no, I feel like there might be something actually here. Something feels weird. Butterflies
I'm liking
in the stomach.
something. What's going on?
Basically.
I like that.
So it's interesting, obviously, just to see like the kids of like some of the characters like popping up, and obviously then also the
Mulan's daughter.
who has a bigger part in the second film.
Oh yeah, she's more big.
Where she's more Mulan.
Yeah,
rather than
actually sword fighting.
Like, it's the one that the extras sort of thing. But obviously, it's also funny to see obviously some of the other grown-ups, like obviously Beast and Belle.
they're
obviously Belle's just basically like Belle normal, and there's Beast, obviously more humanoid with his glasses on.
And be a king.
Yeah.
But then when shit goes down,
straight away goes back to the beast mode. Which is funny because I do love obviously how he's then taught that into Ben. And when Ben reacts and goes full exactly the same. Beast mode. Well, I do like obviously the statue they have outside, which obviously is his way of remembering who he is. Obviously, because he's got the statue of himself normal, and if you clap, it becomes the Beast to show that even if someone is like this, basically essentially a villain. There's still good inside them, and it can still be redeemed, which he was.
Obviously, that's what Ben used to convince his dad to agree to the whole bringing the villains kids
in. Yeah. I think the special effects are a bit iffy in this film. It's Disney Channel budget,
but
I mean, the one that sort of looks kind of bad to me was as you said, the lacrosse, basically. Sports when the ball is very clearly CG. And it's when it's fast moving, you can sort of really tell it's like, ooh, bit dicey there. But then you got the dragon scene, which isn't absolutely terrible. I've seen worse CGI.
Yeah.
For a kids' TV show, film. It doesn't. It's not terrible. I mean, it's better than a lot of the Sci-Fi Channel stuff.
Yeah.
And they probably put a bit more budget into trying to make it look like it was that. Then again, they probably put more budget into trying to get at least one big name actor into their movie.
Yeah.
Whereas this, not really. Yeah, they got a big Broadway star, but There's not really like these big name actors, but Dove Cameron's probably obviously the only real massive
Should
one.
be Disney one, so
Well, a lot of the cast that pop up have at least appeared in some at Disney before.
yeah. But a lot of them, it's like for example, I think Sophia Carson, she mostly does stuff after this film. There's a whole babysitting one with Sabrina Carpenter.
There's a mixture of ones that
Yeah.
basically were big before and some that became a bit more
Obviously,
big
the one
for
that plays
Disney
Jay
after.
was the biggest thing he was in was Twilight. He was in Twilight films, one of the werewolves. Yeah, and obviously, when I plays Carlos,
Jesse.
Yeah, he was in Jesse, so. And
Mirrors.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland.
He's
He was really a young kid in it.
He's other stuff, but.
He's a bit of Grown Ups. He's in
That
Adam
was it,
Sandler Grown Ups films.
That's the low point.
I mean, the first one's alright. First one's acceptable. Second one kind of takes it a bit too far. But yeah. So I can sort of let the CGI slide a bit because it is Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they did it on Disney Plus now, it probably would look better, especially after seeing the aliens spaceship in that. But then again, that was dark, so that can mask the CGI a bit more.
True.
Whereas this is bright light, dragon. So they might have still looked a bit more.
I think they've learnt from the lighting because in the third film, it's a lot more dark when they use the dragon clips or so.
That's why you have to use the darkness to mask your, questionable CGI.
To be fair, though, the dragon does look better in this first film than I think in the other two films.
I can't remember stuff off the top of my head.
Yeah, from what I can remember, they're a lot more puppet looking. If I remember correctly. I might be remembering wrong.
You might be remembering wrong.
Yeah.
I can't remember at all, so there's no point in me trying to remember anything. I think just like Zombies 1, the music is definitely at its weakest point of the franchise in this first movie. 2 and 3 definitely have better music. So in my opinion, 1 is definitely the weakest point. There's not really one that heavily stands out massively in this one to me. Yeah.
I disagree.
I don't think the music's dog shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think the music's great. Like Zombies, first one. I don't think the music is dog shit, but it's not the high point of the franchise. It's definitely a weak part of the
The music is the best in the second one, but I think I prefer the songs in this one than to the third one.
Oh no chance.
My favourite song is in the third one, or the whole franchise. But I prefer most of the ones in this one.
No chance. Third one's got every music in the third one is way better than every song in this one. There's only one for me that is heavily stood out just because of the emotional side of it. Every other song is just First one's alright. Way to be wicked, that's alright.
That second one.
Oh wait, no, yeah.
Right into the core.
Right into the core, that's it. So
Way to be wicked second film.
There's a lot of songs about trying to be evil in this franchise. It's confusing after a while.
The third one's good to be bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of evil ones.
The whole idea is about being villains.
But yeah, for me personally, the music isn't its best. I mean, I can literally listen to the second and third film soundtrack more than once. This one, I usually skip.
Genuinely, I put all three.
I generally usually skip this soundtrack.
I love the music in this one. I love the second one more. Music, but I love the first one's music. I
prefer Zombies 1's music to this film, personally.
Kristen Chenoweth's obviously Evil Like Me is a really good song. I don't get why you don't like it.
I
think it's more Broadway. It's taking the style of Broadway and like Wicked and kind of stuff like that. Probably why you don't like it because you're not a big fan of musicals.
I do like the occasional musical. That's a straight up lie there.
You're always complaining, right? Let's put a musical on.
That's a straight up lie there. I do like a lot of musicals.
Like Broadway musical kind of thing.
Rock of Ages is Broadway.
Yeah, okay, but that's just rock music.
It's like really weird.
Music, is it?
There's that one, but there's that one scene of Russell Brand and bang bang trying to bang.
That's still rock though. Aerosmith. Still rock.
But yeah, I prefer Zombies 1 soundtrack to this. And that's the same to me, because I said in that, I wasn't the biggest fan of that soundtrack.
We'll agree to disagree. But I love the songs.
I'm just not a big fan of the music in this one. I like everything else about it, but the music not so much.
My second favourite song in the entire franchise is from this film.
I think everything past this movie's got way better songs.
Mm.
But we'll agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
That's the point of these. You don't always have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to disagree. And this time we definitely disagree. Anything else I can...
The costumes.
Costumes are pretty good.
The way they're all designed. Like, obviously, you see...
There's a lot of, basically, the parents' designs within their costumes, the colour
classic
schemes and whatnot.
Yeah, and then you see the kids' versions, they're a lot more like a more modern version of their outfits. Yeah. Like, you can see where Mal's got inspiration for a lot of her stuff on her costume. I mean, June has, like, the logo in the back, which you see, obviously, in the first film, is like, they're on a little gang, the VKs. So they're like a little gang, they've got little tags and stuff. And you see how, obviously, hers is Maleficent, and you do see even Jade got his own one, and I know Carlos and Evie have one, but you don't really see theirs. But they do, like, in law have one. Because obviously this whole film is based off a book. The whole book series of it is based off of. And you learn stuff like Mal, if she completes this, she would actually, Maleficent will call her Maleficent in the books. But we obviously don't really see this in the films.
No.
But her, like, jacket has that heart, like, dragon inspiration in the back, because a lot of the colour schemes, the hair, Mal's, Evie's hair is more blue to go the whole vibe of being the sort of evil queen look. I see Jay's is more like a rugged leather Jafar looking kind of thing, and then you got Carlos with the elaborate, dog styled, like they can get baby. Yeah, and you can see it with Ben as well. Like, he's more regal,
he's got the
king looking, really. The fine little blue suit with the yellow trims. It's a nice mix of Beast and Belle.
Yeah.
I like that. And the classic Burger King crown.
Burger King crown.
Oh, but I like how the costumes, especially the villains, I look good. Even, like, on the actual island, you see they're all more like a rugged, like, it's like a ghetto kind of, like, area. I mean, it's like, it's the back streets kind of, like, thing. It's really good. And you even see, like, some of the villains, like, there's like Evil Queen, she's still got that regal, like, medieval look to her. A hint of modern to it, but I like the way it all looks. It's good. The slums. Basically what the whole island is, basically the slums. If we see more of the island on the second film. But and the third one as well.
Yeah,
it
doesn't really focus heavily on the island in this one. It's just that they've come from there.
You see,
it's mainly just that Oradon this time round. But then after this, because of this film, actions and whatnot with characters going to the island, we get obviously more of the island going forward for different reasons, both bad and good.
Yeah.
I don't think of anything else here.
I mean, obviously you see the swip of the villain kids end up becoming good, and we see that the kids of the good people, they're a bit arseholey. You got, like, obviously Aurora's daughter, obviously Audrey. She's very, like, stuck up, bitchy. She's very like, I'm the best one here. I'm going to become queen.
Yeah.
And she's very, we've got Chad.
Chad, the idiot son of Prince Charming and Cinderella.
And he's fucking, I love that, he's got all the charm, but none of the there. He's just like...
I do love that explanation.
And he gets so much more funny throughout the film. Like, I would say he's the Bucky of this franchise.
I don't think he's anywhere near Bucky, though, personally.
He's not at Bucky's level, but he's like...
Bucky's just at the right level.
I think
there's no one can touch the level of Bucky. I mean, after editing the podcast and looking at some of the clips from the film, just obviously just to remind myself of stuff. I mean, there's moments where he pops in where he doesn't need to be in there. The whole musical number of which one was it?
Alien Invasion?
No, I think it might have been Exceptional Z.
Oh yeah.
When he just pops up randomly and just walks off. And then out of nowhere, he's back in the crowd dancing with everyone. It's like, you didn't need to, like, jump up and, like, randomly and go. It was literally because everyone's, like, singing about, obviously, him being, obviously, what he's changed with the school and everything, how he's changed everyone's minds. And he walks past, he's like, I agree you've done that. You might not be for the best, but he just walks off. I'm just
I don't like it.
I'm just like, did you need to pop up randomly and do that? But
yes, he did.
But yeah, I don't think he's going to be any. I don't think it
I think
reaches
Chad
the Bucky level.
He's like a big tech
He's a
Bucky.
B-Tech Bucky, yeah.
But I think Chad in the first film is a lot like Bucky. He's very stuck up with himself. He's very like, you know, everyone wants me.
But then he just gets dopey as fuck.
Yeah, in the second film, he becomes a complete like washed up idiot. I think it's more of like he's Bucky if Bucky let himself go.
Yeah,
pretty much. And then the third film is a fucking wreck. Which is why I think he's the best in the third film, because he's just fucking useless. Oh.
And you've also got well, the only one who's not at their level, obviously, is Doug, the son of Dopey, is it?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. Dopey.
Hence why it's D.
Yeah. Who's part of the band in the school.
He's basically like the nerd character.
Yeah. Obviously, he's the only one who's not that's as stuck up as the rest, because, I mean, as soon as he catches eyes of, obviously, Evie, he's like, nah. Like, he fully falls in love instantly. He's like, whoa.
And he actually takes the time to get to know her.
Yeah, and try and make her...
He's like saying, you're smarter than you think you are, basically.
He's the only one who actually sort of assists rather than hates on. Which obviously makes sense, because that's what the dwarfs did. And when the fence Snow White, obviously they helped her. Rather than, you know, it's like, get out of here! Get out of here! They didn't just kick her out, they helped her. So it makes sense why he would help her. And obviously help the rest of them.
Yeah.
Even if you can't remember all the dwarfs' names.
Well, to be fair, though.
Dark. And then he gets to it. And then fucking Carlos walks by and goes, Sneezy. Like, oh.
He says that while covered in chocolate as well.
Yeah, because Carlos loves his chocolate in this movie. Especially that one scene when they're in the outside and they got the fucking fence and they got the chocolate. And then fucking James goes, licks the chocolate. And it's the bit when obviously she's like, oh, I came with my friends, and they all turn around and they're the drenching chocolate and waving at them. They're all formal, it's like, and there's him going.
I do like how Jane and Carlos' relationship evolves as well. And the start of the first film, it's pretty much like they're constantly always fighting. You see, like there's a bit when they're all fighting over something, and he's like, "Why do you want it? Because you want it."
They're basically brothers.
Yeah, and then obviously at the end of the film, it's like the turn. He's like, well, if I'm like.
He's my brain.
Yeah, I'm part of.
I'm part of the. If I'm the fist, he's my brain.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, like, I need him.
Which he does, because I mean, he uses him to block shit, and then he actually is useful. But basically, they are basically like brothers.
Yeah,
that's the whole idea of them. Obviously, Phoebe and Mal are basically like sisters.
Well, if you go with how Duff Cameron says, probably not sisters.
Well, it depends what state they're in. And obviously, that's them two are basically like brothers. Like there's those bonds between all of them. And obviously, well, they each have their own sort of little bond, which is shown at different points throughout the franchise.
The hints of it, of like Mal and Evie, but in the second film there's a lot more. Obviously, there's a whole, they have their own song together.
Yeah, I know.
Play between.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll get to that in the second.
I know. I remember that one.
Yeah. But yeah, we see that they are very close to each other, because obviously they've gone through quite a lot, obviously, on the island.
They're always together.
Yeah, like in the books, like, if I remember correctly, Mal and Evie like start off fighting constantly.
Well, if you think about it, they are their parents are like the biggest villains essentially of like most of Disney. Yeah. Apart from obviously a couple of ones which aren't present, i.e. Scar. He's probably one of the more bigger ones, but obviously
because he actually physically kills people.
Obviously, the Lion King side of it isn't part of this, sadly.
Or is it? Like there's
so
it could be.
So it's not like a reference or something.
I think in the books probably. They probably are in the books, but I don't think we see much here.
So Scar's probably the biggest one that's like not present.
Yeah, like we have obviously we don't really see Gaston, but
there's references to him.
Yeah, he's referenced in this one, and his son's in the second and third one. We get little hints of other ones. Obviously, Harry Hook in the second film is obviously Hook's son, and there are there's obviously a really big, powerful villain that we'll get to in the third film, because that's big spoiler.
There's a few that aren't present, but obviously of all the classic
the classic ones,
these are sort of the big ones.
Like, the big four, like
I mean, Cinderella, big Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin is obviously a very big one, because it obviously was one that was along the line of like how they would Pocahontas and Mulan. It was one that was different
culture, different.
It was obviously a lot different. It was really popular.
And then the one that's not an actual like princess film, 101 Dalmatians.
Which is
still a Disney film, but not a princess film.
That makes sense to throw that one in, because then it gives that different perspective.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're all kids of ones that have attacked princesses, whereas he's not.
The worst. Yeah, he's the son of someone who's the worst of them all.
Dog napper.
Kills dogs. Kills dogs.
Basically. So it is interesting to see that there's
Mhm.
different, they're utilising different characters
Yeah.
that wouldn't normally fit with these other ones. So that's,
Mm.
it definitely stands out when obviously you look at them and you see obviously the idea of the characters and you're like, okay, those sort
Yeah.
of might work together and there's great. It's like, she wouldn't work with them realistically,
Mhm.
but you know, that makes sense because she's meant to be it's kind of like the outcast of the four essentially because
Yeah, she's the
the
crazy
nutcase
one.
one.
I think like she only really deals with them lot because obviously her son does.
Yeah.
And she pretty much wants to have her son with her all the time
Yeah.
to do her bidding, to basically be her dog.
Essentially.
And that's pretty much.
Anything else? Are you
Trying to
covered
think.
for this film?
Talk about the relationship, talk about the costumes, sets, pretty much. I mean, the whole idea is pretty interesting, like of bringing all of the kids of the villains and all the kids of the good guys and mix them in the same universe. There's some of them obviously are from actual real world places, and some are more medieval fantasy lands, but like mix them all together.
So it's obviously not the first time that sort of idea has ever been approached.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel did it with Next Avengers.
True.
Sky High, even though obviously they're not obviously based on famous characters, that was sort of the same idea. But obviously, just not well-known characters because they're made for that film. But you get the idea. It's basically
this one's like different eras as well as different eras of Disney as well as different like aspects of the world all mixed together in one world. Like obviously Cruella de Vil's like era is really more like Victorian style, like Victorian to 1920, like that kind of era. It's like 19
chimney sweeper type era.
Yeah, because they mix the chimney sweeper, but there's still cars.
Yeah.
So like probably the 1950s, 20s.
Like Mary Poppins style.
Yeah, more Mary Poppins era.
Basically, it's basically similar. Whereas the other ones obviously aren't.
More fantasy.
More fantasy,
aspects. Like obviously.
Cruella de Vil's era is more realistic.
Yes.
Compared to the rest, which are all kind of more over the top.
Yeah, like we see.
It takes some aspects of reality, but aren't like fully based in reality.
Like Beast and like Bella's more Paris. He's French in it. French in here.
Oui, yes.
Yeah, I think that's more France. So. Get different aspects of Earth and different aspects of Fantasyland, like Fairy Kingdom and shit like that, all mixed together. I mean, fucking hell, we have like Greek gods in here as well. Because obviously there's a villain in here.
Shh. That's not part of this. You've gone too far ahead. Are you done?
Yes.
You summed up.
I think that's something like the world, the concept itself is really good, and how the world building is done pretty good. Also, kind of funny that they call United States of Oregon USA. I wonder what that's a reference to.
You done?
Yes.
Okay.
That's done now.
Let's go to the ratings then. Just like Zombies, it's a fun opening act to this trilogy. And obviously this one that before doing this recording, we know how it ends because all three movies have been released. But it's definitely a very entertaining first chapter.
Yeah.
Which, obviously my only complaint, just like Zombies 1, is the music for me isn't... I think because I've heard the other films, that's what makes me go, oh, this is definitely like the weakest. Oh, that's my issue there. I definitely feel like that's maybe kind of lingering there. It's just the fact that I've heard the music from all the others and I was like, this is definitely the weak points for me. Like, especially in terms of the choreography, like in terms of some of the other ones are kind of the sets of the other musical numbers,
a lot extravagant sets.
Yeah, basically, I feel like that's what helps the songs like come out. Whereas this one, not really. I mean, the only like really good set made for one was the opening one because it's obviously a wide set. Whereas the second one is more of like it's a museum. Third one onwards, they're just kind of just like in the same place. So I feel like the other ones are kind of in better locations. That's what kind of helps them a bit more come across. That, and I feel like they got better beats. But still, I feel like this is definitely a good place to start. Great cast, and an interesting story. So if it's very much like Zombies, for me it'd be a 7 out of 10, which is obviously a bronze egg. So yeah, fun start.
I disagree. To me, this is one of my favourite films. Like, Out of all the Disney films, like
Definitely.
it's even higher to me. It's higher than High School Musical.
We have different taste in movies by the look of it.
Yes, but I really love this film. Like,
I go for the more classics. You go for the more child-friendly.
I like the film. Okay,
You're
I
a
really
child.
do. And like, I could watch even just the first one over and over again. Like, I prefer the second, but I do have a high rating for the first one because like you don't really like music that much, whereas I love the music. Like, there's some my favorite songs are from the first film, and I like obviously Kristen Chenoweth's like her performance as Mal, Maleficent.
I was going to say Mal Dove Cameron.
Maleficent.
Come on, you're the one supposed to be the
Shut up.
The big brand of this franchise.
Shut up. I like her performance Maleficent, and I like the whole relationship she has with Mal and the struggle. And obviously we don't really see her again in the second film. Obviously her staff is using the third one, and you see her lizard form in the second form. We don't really see much of her in those films. That's all you really see. Whereas she got a big part of this. And
she's the villain of the film, that's why.
Since
each film needs someone who's the big villain. This one is Maleficent.
And I think I like this film. It's a big one for me. So I'm gonna give this one. I'm not gonna give it a 10 because I'm gonna.
Wow. Fucking hell, the hate must be getting to me. I'm hearing things here.
But I'm still gonna give it a 9. It's a high 9 for me.
I definitely felt
this is a high 9.
This hate's definitely getting to me. I'm hearing things here. I'm not giving it a 10.
Yeah, it's a high 9.
Someone needs to resuscitate me now.
It's almost a 10. I think in comparison, if the second one and the third one didn't exist, it would be a 10 out of 10. But because they do, in comparison, I'm gonna give it a 9. Okay, with a high 9.
Kicking my chair.
I prefer this to Zombies. All 3 films. Yeah. But for comparison sakes, I'd give it a 9.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. Obviously, I'll see when I've watched them all if how I'd do. I mean, I don't know which one I prefer. This and Zombies one. Zombies is different. Yeah, that's something like I like Zombies for what it is. I'm going to agree in terms of the first film at least. I think Descendants 1 is better than Zombies 1 in terms of a lot of the aspects to it because it's obviously focusing on the actual stuff we know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of going to agree on that idea. Number 1 is better than number 1 of zombie franchise. But I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be comparing the sequels as I'm going along as well, saying which sequel's better, and then so that makes sense to me. Yeah, I definitely agree. Descendants 1 is better than Zombies 1. But Zombies 1 is uniquely different because it's zombies. I like Zombies 1 a lot. I just prefer this film to a lot of other films, like even other films that aren't been Disney films. It's a big film for me. I love this film. Okay, this is a good one. Now, okay, so that gives the chat Descendants first one. The chat gave overall rating of 8 out of 10. But a high 8 out of 10. Again, really, it's middle. No, the high 8. It's a high one. Not a high. It's probably at a push an 8.5. At a push. At a fucking push, it's probably 8.5 at a push. Push you up the cliff a fucking push. Yeah, so half gold, half silver, bronze. So that makes it silver. Mind blown. Silver looks like a really shiny silver. But slightly a bit wet. Where it's MVP. For me, Mal. I'll agree on you because of the evolution of her character from basically being her mom to actually caring about everyone. So instead of Cameron, but also her character, like she's out of all of them, she's the most dynamic character. I'd say she controls a lot of the screen when she's on it, and her whole style is amazing. I love it. Also purple. I like purple. I'll agree on you with that one. Mal to me is MVP. See, runner up, I want to give it to 2. I feel like it's Jane Carlos personally. Yes, because they're probably bond that they have going throughout it.
I think I like how...
So you have to throw in Doug in there as well a little bit. Not Doug, dude, sorry.
Dude.
Doug just like, someone call? No, not you, Doug. Go over there. Yeah, I definitely feel like them two are the ones that stand out the most next to her. Because obviously you say they've got that bond. And obviously you say they start off fighting, which is like brothers do.
Yeah.
But they're still there for each other, helping each other. Obviously Jay being the bigger brother, helping Carlos. So I definitely feel like them two deserve the runner-up.
Yeah, I agree. That they are a good part of the first film, and we see them become more evolved throughout the franchise as well.
Yep. So I mean, Jay gets someone who's basically the same like mind of him as he go forwards, and also an enemy.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite moment. I'm gonna give it straight away to Carlos shitting himself and running away from a dude. Just because that starts the evolution of his character from that point. Like you see him, obviously he's basically like a trial with obviously Ben. It's like, okay, time trial, get ready to run. Dude just bolts out of nowhere. He screams, runs off into the forest. He's like, wow, you got a really good Carlos? And he has to chase after him, and he's there like he's not even halfway up a tree. He's like just like one step on the tree, and he's like, he's gonna kill me. He picks him up, and he's like, he's a killer, he's a killer. And then it's from then on the evolution of his character into being an actual someone who likes dogs. So I do like that it's both a comedy moment, but it's also a teachable moment. Yeah, and it's the evolution, the starting point of his character's evolution to the point of when you see him with the dude at one point talking to his mom. He basically tells his mom to basically fuck off. Yeah. But without saying fuck off, because Disney. So yeah, I definitely feel like that's my favourite moment.
For me, it will be the Maleficent and Mal stare down 2.0.
Second one, basically just say when she's dragon form.
Yeah, because
dragon form stare down.
Because at the start of the film, they have a little stare down, and Maleficent wins. And I like how in this one, with the backup of her friends, Mal the one that wins. Obviously, she stares down Maleficent in her big dragon form, her most powerful form, and then obviously there's the big stare down, and because she got the love of her friends with her and the support,
4 hearts
are
basically
as one. It gives her the boost to finally beat Maleficent and force Maleficent to shrink down to love in the size of her heart, which is why it's a fucking little tiny painted bearded dragon. I think it's quite powerful. I mean, it's big. Like, just her finally standing up to Maleficent. Yeah, instead of just following her blindly. I think that's my favourite moment.
Okay, so favourite musical number. For me, the only one that really stands out the most is because it's the point of, a character's evolution, If Only. Yeah. The solo Dove Cameron song, when obviously he finally starts thinking, wait, am I in love with Ben? I've drugged him, and obviously, so that makes him madly in love with me, but I feel like there's something more inside me.
If I knew what my heart was telling me. I didn't know what love is.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that one, because obviously then it includes a lot of flashbacks to a lot of these key moments in this friendship/relationship that start making her think even more, wait, am I in love? So I definitely think If Only. Obviously, the opening song is probably very close behind that for me, just because it's the first song you ever hear. But I definitely think If Only. Even if they do reprise it like 5 minutes later for no other fucking reason, which they could have just made another quick song. So yeah, I definitely think If Only for me.
Yeah, because I like a lot of the songs of this film. I mean, I do like Evil Like Me. It's a fun little thing of that's the weight of Maleficent, her manipulation of Mal. Yeah, big part of that.
I'm going to manipulate you in the form of song.
I do like to set it off because that's out of all of the end songs of the Descendant films, it's one of my favourite of them.
I can't remember the other two, so I can't really say much.
This one's my favourite of the end ones.
I just remember the water involved in the second one. No other reason.
And do obviously, I know you don't really like it, but I liked Did I Mention? I did like that one. It's quite a fun.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
You didn't like? Oh, you didn't like Even Like Me, didn't you?
I don't hate it.
I don't like this song.
That's me taking the piss. I don't hate. I've already said I don't hate the music in this. I think most of it's just mediocre.
Well, I like.
I've heard better musical numbers.
I like the little reference to the whole Beating the Beast of that. The
Be Our Guest.
Yeah, Be Our Guest version. But for me, Rotten to the Core is iconic. One of my top favorite ones. I mean, like, it's really fucking good. Like, the beat's amazing. But for me, it's one of the catchy songs in. So, like, for me, it's the second best song in the entire franchise. To me, I really love it. It's one of those ones, like, if I want to, like, listen to some, like, Disney song, like one of the top ones to watch.
There's a lot I'd put above that.
Yeah, but you're weird. So
there's a lot in the sequels that I'd put above that, definitely. And I will list them to you off fucking recording.
There's only one for me that tops it.
I will list them off recording to you.
I think you know which one, the one that tops it, but for me, yeah, genuinely my favourite. I like it. Okay.
Oh fuck! I forgot you can see me on screen.
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. That's it then. That's it for our Descendants podcast. Have you seen Descendants? If so, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Yeah.
Did you think the music was mediocre? Did you love the music to death? Put these thoughts in the comments below. Obviously, check us out on Spotify, iTunes, you know, most of your podcasting platforms. Obviously, YouTube, main one, because that's where I uploaded straight away too. And obviously, you can check Descendants and its sequels out on Disney+.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it for this. We'll see you next week when we cover Descendants 2. The middle one of the franchise.
Yeah, and probably
the better one.
Yeah, the best one.
So yeah, we will see you for that next time.
Bye.